They escape on a night where Jimmy Butler was once again the hero for this Miami Heat team, played every single minute on that hobbled knee, dropped 35 points, 9 boards, had that wild shot at the end of the game, which we will certainly be getting into here on Keyshawn, JWill, and Max. ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. If you want to join the conversation at any point this morning, the number to get in, 888-SAY-ESPN, 888-729-3776. So I want to start with the Miami side of things here and thinking about that late 11-0 run that they went on and all that Jimmy Butler did that went so well for this Miami Heat team in the first, up until like the last 16 seconds of this game, almost able to get to the point where they're forcing overtime. Do you blame him for his shot selection after he grabs that defensive board and then misses the wide open shot? Do you blame him for taking the shot that he did? I don't, because it was a wide open look and I felt like Jimmy had been lights out at this point. Everything had gone right until that very moment.
I don't blame Jimmy Butler at all. When I look at this in totality, I look at Jimmy Butler, what he's meant for this Miami Heat team, especially throughout the season, throughout this playoffs. Your best player not only took the last shot, but got the rebound, brought the ball up the court, and he was going for the kill shot. And Jimmy Butler, who played 48 minutes in that game, and you see the game previous to that, he had 47 points. He gave this team and this organization everything that he had. He emptied the tank, right? He left nothing on that basketball floor, and that's all you can ask of your best player. To be an example, right? Put all the marbles in one basket and don't have any regrets when you walk off that court. Now, the shot that he shot was a wide open three. Basically, in my eyes, a warm-up shot. He just happened to miss it. So I do not regret Jimmy Butler for that moment. Plus, if that game would have went overtime, I almost tweeted this at one point, but Miami came back. But I almost tweeted, Miami doesn't have enough in the tank. And with that mindset, I love the three-pointer that Jimmy Butler took, because if they would have went up 1, all the pressure would have been on the Boston Celtics. But I kept saying throughout this game, Courtney, this one thing. Damn, can the Miami Heat get Jimmy Butler some help?
I know. I feel like we've been saying that the entire postseason, though, especially in this series where Tyler Hero was playing through a groin injury. He's a late addition at the end. I didn't think he was going to play on Sunday night, given what we had heard about the groin injury, why he didn't play in Game 6. They were talking about he's doing everything humanly possible. And then late on Sunday afternoon, we find out he is going to warm up with the intention to play. So he's going to play. They get nothing out of him in 7 minutes. And that, to me, shows that they just couldn't push that. He couldn't push it.
Yep.
But P.J. Tucker going giant goose egg in Game 7. And on top of that, the backcourt for the Miami Heat once again reverts to form. I mean, Kyle Lowry, 15 points in 39 minutes, 7 rebounds and 3 assists. That's not an awful stat line for him. At this point of his career, dealing with a hamstring injury too, I was okay with that. Max Strus, what are you doing? That to me, the shot selection for Max Strus, 7 3-point attempts, only made 2 of them, just poor shooting selection from the floor. And I feel really bad for Jimmy Butler in this sense, because the argument has always been throughout this postseason, he can't do it. I don't think a lot of people want to throw him in top 10 category just yet. And I don't think that's fair, but he can get it done on a championship team if he has help. It's the same thing as the Luka conversation here. Jimmy Butler is a superstar. He's played lights out this entire series, and playing through injury as well puts him in a situation now where if they get him help this offseason, if they go and try to find a Donovan Mitchell, maybe even a Zach LaVine, a secondary scorer that can lift some of that offensive burden off of Jimmy Butler, they're in a far better position to be able to succeed going into the 2022-23 season. It's time for Straight Talk, brought to you by Straight Talk Wireless. We're going to go into that late Game 3. I watched Jimmy kind of keep his hand up. He thought it was going in. The extra hang time there lets you believe it as well. Here's Jimmy Butler on what his thought process was on that late Game 3.
My thought process was go for the win, which I did. Missed the shot, but I'm taking that shot. My teammates liked the shot that I took, so I'm living with it.
That was Jimmy Butler on his late game 3 that did not go in. And the Boston Celtics end up running away with a 196 win over the Miami Heat. Keyshawn, JWill, and Max on ESPN Radio and ESPN2. So I like what he said there because, like you had mentioned, that's going for the kill shot.
Yep.
That's playing for the win.
Yep.
Where a team like Boston at the end was playing not to lose. I like the Jimmy Butler mentality that he had in that moment because this is who he's been throughout his entire career. This is somebody who had the exact same sort of ability to lift his team, to get them into the finals when they were in the bubble in 2020. He's done it at other points of his career, whether he was with the Bulls, whether he was with Philly, and Minnesota too. And now I feel like we can shift this thing forward in thinking about everything that Jimmy Butler meant to this Heat team this season, but also how they need to really do right by him and find him some help this offseason. So the next time that they're in this situation, it's not going to come down to Jimmy Butler on one leg trying to will this team into the finals.
And I think it's only right that we mention Jimmy Butler and highlight his great playoff run that he just had, right?
Mm-hmm.
Atlanta Hawks, he averaged 30.5 points per game versus the Sixers, 27.5. And then you get to the Boston Celtics in the Eastern Conference Finals, he averaged 25. He did everything that he was supposed to do.
Yeah.
And if he had, like we mentioned earlier, if he had a tiny bit of help, this game could have ended up differently. But I'm not going to sit up here and I'm not going to question a guy that I know I'm going to live and die with.
Mm-hmm.
In every capacity of the game of basketball, when we're on the floor, when we lace it up and that they throw that ball up in the air and there's a jump ball, I'm not questioning Jimmy Butler because I know his mindset. And like you mentioned, the Boston Celtics kept their foot off of the gas pedal.
Yeah.
And the Miami Heat didn't die. They were still there.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus right now.